Hello guys, welcome to the 30-second session. In the previous session, we have learned how to use the subscription. In this session, we will learn about how to implement the paging in a GraphQL. This is example of a paging in a GitHub's API. Here we can pass the number of record that require either in the first or the last, as well as the cursor detail in the before or after property. And as a result, it gives the details about the page information. So let's create a new model in a business. Page request, add a property for first and last. It will be nullable integer. Also create a property for after and before. It will be a string type. Create another class, page response. It contains a list of generic type that represent the nodes. Integer for total count and a flex for has a next page and has previous page. For this session, I am going to create a query that support the paging for completed order. In the background, I have made some changes to this. Added the cursor helper. It contains the some static method that will convert the integer value to base 64 and vice versa. Open the order detail service. Here I have added get completed order async method and also post it in the interface. Let's understood this method. Here we have obtained the list of completed order as a queryable and check that value is set in the first argument. If yes, then check the cursor value specify in the after. If yes, then obtain the numeric value from the cursor and use it in the where clause. Later obtain the number of nodes which are specified in the first argument. Here I have implemented changes for the first and after, not for the last and before. You can implement it by yourself. It will be just reverse of this. In the end of method, obtain the all the node as a list. Here is a logic that calculate the next page or previous page is available or not and return the page response. Open the queries. Till now, we have used the either field or field async method for adding the field, query, mutation, and the subscription, etc. GraphQL.NET library provide another kind of builder for the paging, known as connection. It is especially designed for the paging functionality. It will wrap around the order details type. Query name will be completed order. Our service method support only first, not the last. So we need to use the unidirectional. If your application support the both directions, then you can use the bidirectional. Default page size will be 10. In the resolve method, we get the context, obtain the page request detail from the context, obtain the page response, execute the service method, using cursor helper, obtain the starting and ending cursor value. We need to build the another list that will contain the age. It includes both cursor value as well as the node value. In the end, return the connection, set the value for the page info, save all the file, and run the project. Open docs. Here you can see that new query has been added. It just take the two parameter as it's a unidirectional. Within age, we will get the cursor value as well as order details. In the background, I have written the query as well as the add the sum of the order in the completed status. So we can test it. Currently, we are just obtaining the first three node. Here we got the cursor value as well as the specified field in the node. Copy this cursor value and pass the same value in after parameter. Here we got the result after that node. Great. We got the result as per the expectation. Let's see what we have learned in this session. Here is the implementation of the paging, in which we have used the connection method. In the resolve, we have obtained the page request detail from the context and call the service method, then prepare the some values required by the connection and return it. In the service method, we have obtained the data as a queryable, then check for the first and after argument and perform the appropriate operation based on that. Later obtain the flag for next and previous pages and return the instance of the page response. Here is a query that I have used. Note that I have not handled any kind of exception throughout this session. So if you don't have any order in the completed status, then you will get an exception. Stay tuned for the next session.